Good evening, my friends. What is going on in the hood today? Guys, happy Wednesday, happy NVIDIA earnings day. Let's take a look at what's happening in the stock market, what is happening with the NVIDIA earnings, and then let's dig into some stocks to play for tomorrow as the market is in all-time highs and in breakout territory. As you guys probably know, right, when the market is, in breakout territory and riding up the 9 EMA, this is like your sweet spot to really do some good day trading and short-term trading, swing trading, whatever it might be. This is when the market's in the clear and you're in a run-up cycle, right? And so there's 4 different cycles to the market. You have accumulation, distribution, run-up, run-down. So your run-up phase is your good old-fashioned bull market, and we're in that right now. And so we got to respect the price action. The SPYs also had breakout, right? And so as long as we're kind of trending up these 9 EMAs and we're in this over the breakout spot, we are in what we'd call like a Goldilocks zone where the volatility will be fairly light and you'll kind of grind higher a little bit at a time. You won't get crazy amount of volatility, but you'll just kind of grind higher and higher, and there'll be some good, safe trading with not too much craziness going on. So the theme for today, obviously, is, right, that we have NVIDIA has its earnings out. It has taken out the dreaded $1,000 mark. It dipped down for a hot second and then ramped up. It's up about 55 points right now, 53 points. As long as this breakout, zone holds, then, this move is obviously going to be very bullish. And so, tomorrow we'll see if we get any kind of pullbacks or tapbacks, into the zone, or any kind of pullbacks intraday, as this is going to be pretty big. And I didn't look at the earnings or anything like that. I'll probably dig in a little bit later just for the fun of it. As technical traders, we don't really care about the earnings, but it's kind of fun to just get your iPad out and peruse through a little bit. Man, if this can hold up, then tomorrow, right, we want to be really looking at some chips and some AI-related names. I think this SMCI could be, something tomorrow. So let's keep an eye on this. If it breaks this trend line right here, I think that's going to have, a chance. You have MU that's really just right at the breakout spot. Not a huge reaction on these. So, they may go, they may not go, right? We'll see. We'll see kind of how things open off, but both of these are looking pretty good. Taiwan Semiconductor should break out here because these guys are the ones that make the chips, right? These are the guys that get all the goodies. And so this has got a really nice setup to it, right? Flag pattern, breakout, big trender on this. So, any pullbacks on this tomorrow intraday, I think we want to keep an eye on. Now, let's take a look at some solar stocks, because I thought that was the big theme for today. Let's see, led by FSLR. Look at the power push on this. So the solar stocks are getting a push because, Biden's coming in and talking about tariffs, and Trump's been talking about tariffs, right, with China. China has flooded the United States with cheap solar panels, effectively putting a lot of these companies, right, into kind of stage 4 downtrends. And so this is, something that's sparking these things. FSLR is the leader of the group and has held up the best over the last, so many years. And you can see here, it's a big time breakout. Something we probably should be watching on, for all pullbacks is it's pulling out really like, 10 years worth of range. But on the other side, there's a lot of these that are hanging out on the dead bottoms. And so I think, we want to take a look at some of these. You can see some of these like Airy, and this one I don't like the location as much, but CSIQ definitely, right, has a little bit of a level right here. Let's see how this reacts around tomorrow around that 815 mark. NXT's got a nice little rounding pattern here too, right? This thing used to be $60. Its earnings are out of the way. You're kind of getting this big U that's coming through. I think this is like, these are a watch. If we get a weak open tomorrow, let's see if they go for a red to green. The one thing with the solar stocks is they have had a lot of trouble having follow through, right? They have had a lot of trouble having follow through. We often get these fake signals, these like one-off kind of days, and then it's kerplunk. We get these one-off kind of days, and then it's Kerplunk. And we've had this happen a lot, right? Now, there was a small uptick in volume, and so we'll see how these react around this 200-day moving average, this range break. But I want you to add in run. I want you to add in ENPH. I think you got a trend line break over here that's really looking pretty zesty. And look at where these things used to be, right? And there was awesome range on these today. So let's see if we get a weak open on this. We go red to green. If they can hold, these could set up as, a little bit of longer term trends. At the end of 2023, I had mentioned I thought in 2024 there would be a big solar run at some point, only because usually 1 year's trash is the next year's treasure. That's usually how the markets can work on some of these things, right? When oil stocks were left for dead, right? Because everybody's talking about EV. What did they end up doing? The oil stocks went on this huge run, right? Metal stocks, right? When they're in the dumper, the next year they're hot, so on and so forth, right? Besides tech, which seems to just kind of always go up, right? The other sectors, right? They cycle a lot. And so that's just something to kind of keep into your back of your head. So keep a couple of these solar stocks. There's a whole host of cheapy ones too. You have Maxin. There's some cheapy ones for you small cap lovers, right? You got to break out and pull back. So, all into this. So you got a couple of these ones. Old Nova, right? These are kind of cheapy. This is a weird location, I think. But if you get a run in these, then they all will just start to play hot potato and go one after another. Now let's add a couple more names to the watch list. I want to watch this mRNA tomorrow. If it has it had some news out with Fiverr. I'm wondering if this is kind of a little bit of a sell the news event tomorrow, because it's been running for quite a few days here, off this kind of flag pattern. A big gap up on this tomorrow, or a decent sized gap up, I think we can actually look off for like maybe a little bit of a fade. You're running into a little bit of a supply zone over here anyways. And, anything, dude, if we got this thing, I was hoping for, if it stayed up here, so it's already drifting up, but we get a spike on this tomorrow, like I'm going to be looking to try to take this thing down. I think this one and probably NVAX both have really a little bit of extension on them that, any kind of big gap up on them, I think we can take these down. So moral of the story, I want to short these vaccine stocks. I want to look at solars and semiconductors, right? I think those are going to be, I think, where the plays are. And, I've got a whole host of other names I'm watching, right? Maybe one more, a gap down on BABA, I think we could probably bounce, FCX at the 50-day moving average, HIMS maybe at the 9 EMA, but I think these are kind of like B- level setups. What I want to focus on is solar, right? So that is like your ARI, CSIQ, NXT, ENPH, run, short the vaccines on gap up only. So that is your NVAX, your mRNA, which is the prime, that's the premium one. And then let's watch some semis. If Nvidia goes ham, then we might have to trade, right, this SMCI. I probably personally will leave Nvidia alone tomorrow. I think the range would just be all over the place, and the algos will be going crazy. But I want to play the offshoots, right? Probably MU and SMCI. I think those will be kind of the prime time ones, because I think Qualcomm's a little bit extended, so I want to focus on those two. Maybe some AMD. You've got a level here at AMD, test, and it's right at a sweet spot. That 170 could trigger a little bit of a run on this, right? It dropped from 230 all the way back down to like 140 on the dot, right? So, now it's starting to rebound. You get a little bit of a W pattern. I think we could get some, if we get over that range, I think we could get some. So, guys, just be safe. This market, the small caps going, a lot of random stuff going. Don't get too much FOMO. There's good things. You just got to be patient. Every day there's a couple really good plays. As the market grinds, it can sometimes suck you into making more trades than you need to, because, you're thinking, wow, the market's at high, or these small cap bombers go in. But if you're really patient, like even if you miss primary moves on stocks, there's all these other moves that are happening, right? Like, you get like a run like in these solars or something. Say these things just explode off at the open. The first pullbacks like tend to work. There's, other setups you can do. But I really always, I prefer kind of hitting these first pullbacks. I think that's the safest, highest, reward, lowest risk type of trade when you're intraday trading. first pullback, on a runner is usually a good spot. If you can get the location right, you're in a good spot. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. I love you guys. Peace.